Good morning. It's early o'clock in Kevin in Paradise. What's happening here today? Well, I just decided I have a shirt on. It's cool out. Winter's here. The river's gone down about 8 inches. Not that way, but that way, because it's where I look. It's just a beautiful day. So I thought I'll come out here early and share the moment with you. What do you think? I just have a couple pictures, a little video clip of something beautiful I wanted to share with you. What do you think? Really pretty, huh? Nice with the morning sun. So, I've been walking around the garden. I went all the way to the end and all the way to this end, looking for my little feathery friends, and nobody's home. What's going on? What's going on? I think everybody's left. The bird of prey come and they all said, not staying here. I've never seen it so quiet with birds. Normally there's so many birds around. But I think because the bird of prey's been here for about 3 years now. I think this is about the 3rd year they've come. So everybody's gone. I'm sad. I don't know what I don't think they're migratory birds. I don't remember ever having all the birds gone. They left. There's a funny energy going on around. There's all kinds of stories about Schumann's resonance going all over the place. That's the Earth's vibration. The was it I3 Atlas, what its intentions are, and so on and so on. The sun's energy. There's a guy online. If I can find him, I'll put it in the description. You can see. He talks about how sometimes you can't sleep. Sometimes you feel like anxiety. Like you say, why do I feel nervous? Why can't I sleep? All these sort of questions we have. Well, he talks about that. And he posts it from the US. So I always get it the next day. But I just, you think, how do I feel? Think, okay, it's a feeling. You're allowed to feel that. So, but the next day I listen to him and see what he says. And sure enough, he's right on the button. Emotions up and down, but you could call it mindfulness. I just try not to let anything like that bother me anymore, and just ride the waves. So if there's a reason you can't sleep, then nap in the day. Being retired, you can do that. But the energy's everywhere. I don't know if that's affecting the birds or what. I have no idea. But we're in strange times, for sure. We seem to be in some really strange times right now. It's like, I hear one bird on the other side of the river. That's the hero bird. On the other side of the river, but not over here. Yeah, I think it's time we started to find your tribe, find people of like mind, people, I don't know if you can use the word trust anymore, but like-minded people, people who are interested in a little bit of survival, gathering some resources within reason. Not so much hoarding, but a way of getting clean water. So in other words, a filter system and a way of storing water. And you can have a fridge or freezer, but you might need an alternative power source. I'm not trying to scaremonger at all, but we've been talking about this sort of stuff forever. And I think I don't know what it is, but I feel like I need to spend less. I still go to Shopee and I buy my vitamins and vitamins, minerals, supplements, little pieces for cameras. I still spend that, but I don't want to buy big things. Yes, I had to buy a new camera because this one, it's alright in here in the morning because it's cooler. But if you try to do it in a hot day, so it'll probably be okay through the winter. But to be honest with you, I think it's a better quality than my new one. Because it just seems to have a better lighting. I don't know if the new one's super sensitive or something. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to play with it because I spent the money and spent hours researching it and buying all the little pieces for it. But I'm going to use it. But I don't know if it's any good for vlogging itself. Unless I can get the colors to be a little bit softer. They're just like so intense. But I found some new settings, so I'll try again. Maybe do a test run. Say, this is my test. But anyway, so the point is, if you don't need to buy a big item, keep your money in your pocket. Better to have some spare cash than to wait for your next paycheck. Because, you know, I get pensions from the UK and the US. And they're both going to go through some serious time, so you can't guarantee you're going to get your pension. So that's why I'm reluctant to spend big money, because I've invested some and I have some money in the bank, but will the bank work? You know, these are the things people are talking about. You could say, oh, you're overthinking. Well, overthinking's okay to say, but don't want to be standing there with, naked. In other words, can't get any money. I don't have any food. Because I poo-pooed everybody's ideas about what's coming. So, it's okay to say, I don't believe something, but if you're not ready or can't take care of yourself, I think I've said this 1,000 times. The power of the mind. If you don't have a sound mind, where you can sort of sit on the fence and look at the good, weigh it up, look at the bad, weigh it up, and kind of take a neutral thought. Don't get frightened. Think, oh, because that's going to affect your immune system, it's going to affect your body, it's going to affect everything. So you got to stay kind of numb, so it doesn't mess with your emotions, and just say, these are the times we live in, I have to adapt. The word adapt. Do I feel scared? No. Am I worried? No. But I want to be prepared for whatever comes. Remember that event we lived through just a couple of years ago, where there was all this frightening and stuff? You have to have the, well, I said, no, I'm not having nothing. And in the end, now what we found, I don't want to talk about it here, but you can do your own research. There's a couple of doctors I listen to, and they're amazing. And I'll just say this. I was just listening to a doctor talking last night, and he said that they've known since the 1500s, so that's like well, you could say 500 years ago, yeah. 525 years ago, 500 years ago. They've known for 500 years that the tobacco plant, which is in the nightshade family, so is some of the vegetables. I think aubergine or eggplant, same thing. Tomatoes, same thing. All in the same family. So eating, but the highest concentration is in the tobacco plant. So I'm not saying smoke the tobacco plant, but I still, to be honest, I still don't 100% understand. But there was one doctor, he says tobacco in its clean, pure form, not with all the chemicals in. So if you grow your own plant, I still don't think smoking it is a good idea. So maybe chewing it. I know that's gross too, but I don't know, can you eat it in a salad a little bit each day? But they're talking about, he says he uses a nicotine patch, the ones used to stop smoking, because that nicotine, when it goes into your bloodstream, goes to the cell and pushes out any virus. So many, I don't want to quote anything because I can't remember it all. I don't have anything wrong with me, so I don't try to remember it for the sake of remembering it. But there's so much that we can, bugs, sorry, the nicotine from the plant in its pure form, so it's not like a artificial something, it grows naturally. It's a plant like every other plant, like corn, it grows in its pure form. When it's digested or gets into the bloodstream, it goes to the cell, and there's little receptors, right? Little like places where they come into a port, like a ship into a port, and it pushes out and blocks all viruses, lots of different disease, the C word, and so on. I said too much already. I don't want the big ears to listen to what I'm talking about, but it's something to research. So if you're, research it for yourself. Go online. You can ask AI, but they're not always honest. But you could, if you go to YouTube and Facebook, you could search for the topic I just talked about, and you'll find the doctors, and they talk about that. So the reason I mention it at all is so that you can prepare yourself and be ready. If I didn't care, I wouldn't talk. So I guess it's all about trying to get ready, because they've been talking about this for as long as I can remember. Maybe 10 years I kept talking about this period, and it's here. So without fear-mongering, just quietly do your research. If you have spare money, don't waste it. Buy something that you can put in your pocket that's maybe gold in color or silver in color, and put it somewhere for a rainy day. Maybe think about alternative. I don't know where you're living, so I can't give everybody all the advice they need. Just say, look around. And you know what's really important also? To cultivate your own internal emotions by sitting somewhere quiet, a couple minutes a day, walking barefoot on grass, hugging a tree. I used to laugh at that when I was much younger, but now I found out about grounding and earthing. It's helps your body to reconnect and get back into harmony with nature. Because although we're a spiritual being, we live in an earth suit that comes from this planet. So anyway, what else are we going to talk about today? I want to show you something. I'm a little bit excited. I got some new trainers that I've never wore before, other than just, walking around in them. And some sports clothes, because the other day I showed you I signed up for a gym membership. So tomorrow is my first day to go back to the gym. I love training. I learned that my body just loves physical activity, and I feel real happy to do it. And I've trained a lot for many years. In the early days, super intense, like crazy, forgetting to rest, not concentrating so much on nutrition. But back then when I started, I probably started, I was in Germany in 70. We had a gym, but it was closed every night. The only thing that was open was a bar. Anyway, no weights, no nothing. But I think it was around 80. We got a multi-gym, and I put it in the back room. And it was kind of a novelty. But I guess it was really got started properly in around 87 when I went to the school to teach. And they had a really good gym with lots of different machines. So I went in there and I got started and slowly learned about nutrition, slowly learned about resting and protein and stretching. So from about 87, you could say I really got started. Trained up till around 2000 something, 2002, 2001. Then had a break for 4 years, and then moved into another house. Got the house reasonably organized, and then I went back to the gym for a couple years, and then I stopped, came to Thailand, trained for a couple years, moved here, too far away to travel, I think, a couple times a week, but I'm going to do it now. So I signed up to the gym, and I'm getting my clothes ready today, and I'm excited to go tomorrow. The guy says, I'm going to do this test and you have to do all these press-ups and sit-ups. I said, Kevin's not doing any of that. I'm going to introduce myself back to let my body come back. Actually, when the guys were here doing building my workshop, I warmed up, like really warmed up for a while, taking my time, and then said, okay, how many press-ups can I do? And I did 10. I blew a gasket on number 10, but I did 10. That was like 4 years ago or something. But I'm going to go back and introduce myself slowly. Walk. As I said the other day, I had put on a lot of weight because my hormones went all over the place. As you get older, the hormones shut down. But over time, I learned about herbs to help. And when I was researching it, I could remember a lot of them, but the only one I really remember now is one called ashwagandha, which is a herb from a tree in Africa. There's many different herbs, and I was buying them all individually. Then I found one that had them all in one capsule, like 10 in one capsule. So I got that and started taking that, and over a period of time it really helped. Yeah, so over a period of time it really helped. But with hormones, nothing happens overnight. It's not like you have a headache and you take an aspirin and then your headache's gone. It doesn't work like that. It takes a long time, like weeks. So I just kept taking them, and slowly, but slowly, the hormones started working again. And because hormones affect your mood, affects everything. And I could feel I had no energy, so I went to the hospital and I asked them to check my estrogen and testosterone. They say, well, males only have testosterone. I said, can you check them both, please? So they checked them, and then I did all my own research with it. I didn't see a doctor, and they were low. And I even, you're not supposed to, but I asked the technician there, I said, is it low? And he says, very low. So that's when I started working on the problem. So, but now I feel so much better. So I'm excited for to go back to the gym tomorrow. I think I probably won't record anything tomorrow, but maybe in time, over a few days, few weeks, I'll feel more comfortable and feel out, see if anybody else is recording. I'm sure I could. You know, do you take a tripod and lighting? No. But I can talk on my phone, I guess, or just take this camera and talk as I go. But I want to walk for like 20 minutes, half an hour, just take my time, like walking, Sunday walking, and then go to the machine so you can use a little bit of weight, and then do a lot of reps, feel what the muscle feels like, just pump blood into it. That's all I'm going to do. A little bit heavier, a little bit heavier, a little bit heavier, and then feel what it feels like. So if I can get up to like 60-70% of my maximum that I think I could push out for each muscle group, then that's going to be more than enough. And then because it's not, if I'm sore, what I'll do is probably go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and if it's sore on Tuesday afternoon, then I'll leave that alone on Wednesday. But once my body gets back into feeling comfortable again, I'll go back to like a scheduling. So you have like chest on a Monday, you know, chest and chest, shoulders, and biceps, something like that, and then triceps and back another day, and then legs on a Friday, something like that. Or I'll do legs for sure, but maybe longer walking or shorter walking and then do legs, something like that. But it's I'm going to be 69 in less than 10 days. So I'm just excited that to be here at this time of my life, not sick, but with a sound mind. Get your mind in the right place, in the garden of peace, joy, and happiness. I really feel that 100%. Without a sound mind, you're going nowhere. And nobody's going to help you with it. You have to cultivate your inner garden. So meditating brings you to zero, so it gets rid of all your anxieties and so on. There's so much to it all. I can't teach you that here, but there's plenty of resources. You know, in Japan, there's temples. Thailand, there's temples. There's places in the US too. I don't know, there's not a lot of them, but you know, you got to cultivate that inner garden and get peace, and then keep the body active so it doesn't fall apart. When the mind's right and the body's right and you're working it, then there's no reason you can't live to be 100 and be happy mentally and physically. Some people say, I don't want that. Well, I don't know how long I'm going to live. Nobody does. But while I'm here in this earth suit, I'm going to do the best I can in preparing to stay physically strong and mentally healthy, and physically healthy, and at the same time try not to spend money and try to keep any spare money in the colored stuff. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If any of this stuff I talked about resonates with you, please leave a comment and tell me what you think. Healthy mind, healthy body, you know, keep yourself fit. At what age do you stop? Keep going. I know in China they do all kinds of like Tai Chi stuff and Qigong, and well, not anymore, but and in Japan they do different things too. Asian countries, Thailand. If you go to local areas, there's always some kind of fitness going on in the afternoons, like calisthenics. What does it call it? I forget the name of that. Where you dance to music. I forget the name of all that stuff now. But in Asia they do a lot of that. I'm not sure the rest of the world, but I guess it's up to you whether you want to do it, get it organized or whatever. But leave me a comment. Tell me how things are, what you're up to, what you feel about all this I talked about today. So I'm going to sign off, guys, and wish you a happy day. Buckets of blessings. Excuse me, I'll say that again. Buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. So from here, all the very best. See you later. Have a wonder-filled day.